champion. And for the AD carry, we've seen very strong performances from Celebrity on things like the Ezra and the Lucian, which would definitely give you a powerhouse bottom lane, which is definitely what they're aiming for with the Bard.
Well, powerhouse bottom lane, they're still going to find it, although it won't be the Ezra or the Lucian this time around. It's going to be the long-range harass of Caitlyn, locked in for Celebrity alongside the opposite top lane. Sorry.
So I got the composition of Saigon completely off. I have not predicted a single pick for them yet, and it's definitely them going off the rails a little bit. Perhaps they're picking comfort, perhaps they're just going with the flow and picking whatever they see. But for Celebrity, this is now his 6th different AD carry in the tournament. He has played a different champion every single game. And to be honest, it's the same for the mid laner, going back to the Vladimir as well. We're yet to see a Poppy in this tournament, so I think Saigon are definitely just bringing out what is definitely an interesting composition.
And of course, traps would make that much.
Oh yeah.
Saigon, the only team we've seen on this patch lane swap.
Yeah, in any region. Definitely a unique strategy to Saigon Jokers. Nearly worked out for them in the game before.
And to be fair, if they had a few more wins, we could call them idiots.
Yeah.
But that is not the case. However, our featured matchup for this game has to be Warzone versus Talkers. Talkers consistently touted as one of the weaker points of the INTZ lineup in Warzone. I mean, aptly named.
Yeah.
Wherever Warzone goes, someone is dying. Might be Warzone.
Might be Warzone. That's what I'm thinking. Like, this could also be the man himself. But I expect to see another bloodbath. Something that I know you're riveted for. Not the slow game for UC. Only action.
Look, man, I wouldn't care. I really want like a Jin Air Green Wings versus also Jin Air Green Wings. I want like a
I talk for 80% of the game.
Like, yeah, for like 80 minutes, and then there's one team fight that ends the game. Yeah, that's what I want. We're gonna have a lot of blood. It's gonna be an exciting game to end out the day here. Day 5, the International Wildcard Qualifiers. Saigon Jokers on the blue side, and on the opposite side, INTZ looking to cement themselves at the top of the table, looking to secure a higher seed as they head into the semifinals.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Saigon Jokers, the biggest issue that they have with their composition is the severe lack of crowd control. When you actually look across the board, there is very little, but we won't have time for that as Saigon going very aggressive already.
Charger taking a bit of damage here. No way to stop him away, unfortunately. But starting with the aggressive utilities there coming in from Caitlyn. Not going for the traps in the early game, of course, wants a little bit of damage.
Looking to get a bit of deep vision, largely because they are running with the range support. Now, this is often something you will see when you have a Caitlyn Bard lane. You don't really want to look to take the approach you can, but it's much better to just interrupt INTZ, setting up for that early drop, getting that early level 2. You get a bit of damage down, then you can rotate yourself around to the lane, get the early push, and then you can set up for zoning your opponents away and just using the powerful duo lane that you have to your advantage.
Talkers is AFK.
Now, this is something that we've seen a couple of times in the past during the early iterations of Ladders. We've seen a very cheeky strat coming out from Saigon. They think that they're getting the cheese off by interrupting the Gromp, but in reality, INTZ have already moved down into the lane. And this means that they will definitely be able to set up the lane in which they want it. But Saigon Jokers, looks like they're going to be starting on the bottom side of INTZ's jungle.
Go INTZ appears to be the public perception. 93-7, an immense amount of one-sided votes. Celebrity goes a little wide with the Piltover Peacemaker.
See, the problem with this play is the early push will now go in favor of the Ashe Brawn, which means that they're going to be able to get themselves the early 2, and will have a lot more pressure in the laning phase. So we'll have to see how this lane transpires. Already going to give him an early edge in this laning phase. It's definitely a position that INTZ want to be in.
So, winning out in these top lane trades, of course, Poppy does really well against the tanks. Did fall out of favor.
Incredible.
Marching those nerfs onto her damage, and Jock's.
Oh! Oh! That's not good. That is not good if you're the Greys. Revolta now, he wants to add insult to injury. Level 3 to level 2.
Double buff coming in. Revolta just doesn't care. Walking forward, this is great for INTZ. An excellent start to this game. Already putting the jungler down. We look back at Hanyan's last Rek'Sai performance. He was pivotal to getting Saigon back in the game, and they've now limited his ability to impact the map.
Look at this, Jockster. He was only able to get that invade, again, because of this early push, and Shen gets first blood up in the top lane. We were expecting action Sifa, and it feels like they were already going to get it.
I like the way that these observers observe. Just surprised. They want to keep us on the edge of our seats. They want us to never be 100%.
Well, we're likely going to get ourselves a replay, but what I imagine happened is that Yang used to teleport as Ro was getting an early push, baiting him underneath the turret, all in the bottom.
Here comes the red buff wrong. Flash forward, Revolta's on the way in too. Celebrity is in trouble, is going to get stunned up. Chain CC coming in, TP's coming in as well. But Celebrity is now set to fall. Ro keeps the ball rolling here, however, looking to take down Macau, but Jockster and Revolta just going to back off. Su gets the double stun. And INTZ pick up their second kill of the game. 1K gold in the lead, only 4 minutes in.
Well, the aggressive duo lane of Saigon Jokers gets heavily punished, but we're not going to have enough time for that because we are going to get the replay as Ro.
W, and it stops him from dashing into you. Frustration on the side of Saigon Jokers, maybe taking a toll.
Ro just wants to be the playmaker. He wants to get an edge over his lane
Very
opponents.
evident, and it's unfortunate for them because it is not working out currently. Hanyan trying to get back a little bit of the CS that he's missing out on. Saigon Jokers need to make an impact here. Chiefs fans, hold out hope.
They've got the late game. But still, in the early game, if we just look at the gold difference, it is 1,000, largely due to the 2 kills that have gone over to INTZ. And it's really been made worse after the fact that Ro did teleport down to the bottom half of the map. And now you can just see a massive CS differential developing between the 2 top laners. And Sifa, something clearly caught your eye.
You can already see the massive CS differential in the mid lane. I think it's good that we bring up the CS Warzone with a massive lead, and I think that is going to be a big winning point for them moving forward. Because even as the wave crashes in, you know, it's good to have that that Vladimir.
Darkness.
Yeah, it's promising, given that Warzone talks about how he likes to get involved in these fights. Already getting himself a lead early on, then it's going to set him up nicely for the mid games. Jocks are looking for a bit of aggression.
Jockster going to get the stun onto Celebrity. Su taking a lot of damage. They're just going to keep the ball rolling here. Su trying to make his way out. He's trying to stun. 3 stacks, maybe looking for the 4th. Macau moving forward. Gets the last auto attack. Samyan is here. Maybe they can turn it. Graves flash forward. That's some good damage. Macau able to make it out. Jockster moving back to safety.
Honestly, feel like that was a bit of a misplay from Jockster. He was prioritizing the Caitlyn, trying to land another Q, trying to just zone him away from the fight, when if he just turned his attention over to Su, they could have very easily forced a flash out. But in terms of map control, you can see that Revolta using the knowledge that the jungler is in the bottom lane to get a bit of deep vision down and steal away some of these camps.
Yeah, but still at a deficit in terms of jungle farm. Samyan 35 to 24, a pretty decent lead for him, and the lead in the mid lane looking pretty good as well. So all the early game plays were pretty rough for Saigon Jokers. Things are looking a little bit better in terms of CS.
See, a large reason as to why this mid lane advantage had been accrued for Warzone is because early game, it's very difficult for the Malzahar to be able to outpush the Vladimir, because you have very high mana costs and you have a very small mana pool, which means that if you burn all of your mana on trying to trade back with the Vladimir, it will inhibit your ability to actually push the lane out. Whereas if you invest all of your mana into trying to push the wave out, then the Vladimir is just going to constantly trade with you, and he's not going to take any damage in return, which means that you'll end up getting forced out of lane. And what you'll see a lot of Malzahars do is actually run the teleport so that they can just prioritize on pushing, take all the damage, and then at level 4, level 5, go back to base, TP back to lane, and with boots, health pots, and an extra draw into range, the lane will then start to swing back in his favor. But given that he did run the Ghost, this is why you're seeing this big CS differential.
And it's starting to shrink in defense of Talkers. He is doing a decent job on catching back up in wall. Mid lane, the jungle, and the AD carry spot looks pretty good for the Saigon Jokers. Top lane looks grim. The over-aggression from Ro in that early play now leading to that 30 CS.
It's surprising that INTZ is actually behind the bottom lane after their fantastic start. The fact that the lane was pushing in their favor, Caitlyn was forced to go back to base because of her death, should have really netted them an advantage, but really significant pickaxe being picked up from Macau, whereas the BF sword now just completed for Celebrity is actually not that bad for Saigon Jokers.
Yeah, of course, Macau when he backs should be able to buy something. Looking to let them back anytime soon as he starts to pressure in.
Here we
To turn this fight in their favor.
Remember that INTZ do have the Shen, so setting up for these dives is something that we talked about during Champion Select. If you can get a good setup in your bottom lane, push underneath the enemy turret, then the Elise is really good for
Celebrity in trouble, but Revolta could be the one to get turned on. Shenald coming in, Arrow coming in as well. Celebrity flashes backwards, just barely able to make it out. Yang giving us pressure on the top side. Poppy making her presence known on the bottom. This could be the fight to turn it in the favor of Saigon Jokers. Knocked out of the fight. Ro looking for a little bit more. Talker's trying to dish out some damage. Warzone flashes forward. He's on the front lines, but he's exhausted. Trying to get something back. Sue not even level 6. Ro! He's trying to fight the Void Link. They're gonna get it! Oh! Warzone getting taken down too, and the vision spreads. Now moving forward for a bit more. Alt comes in. INTZ, they wanted to play more aggressive, and here is that aggression. In comes the ace in the hole. Bach gonna get body blocked out. INTZ, it looked so grim for a moment there, but they're taking control. Sue next on the menu is gonna portal through, is not gonna be able to make it out. Double kill coming in the mid lane. The flash taunt finally comes in. Celebrity going to drop, and that is the unofficial ace 9 minutes into the game.
The Blueberry Pie doing so much work, being thrown into the face of Saigon Jokers, netting Talkers 3 kills in that whole exchange. I'm sorry, Chief fans, if you were hoping for a Saigon turnaround, things are looking bleak right now as INTZ pick themselves up an ace 10 minutes into the game.
And that is a 10-minute 4K gold lead, Vedius. It was almost insurmountable. Saigon, though, they've never been afraid to pick a fight. While that time it didn't work out for them, maybe they'll find a different opportunity. Warzone pushes in the mid lane, but a completed entire Morel Anomicon is picked up by Talkers.
Oh man, if you thought those blueberry pies hurt before, well, now add a bit of magic, a bit of special ingredients from your recipe book, and now they're just going to be doing all the more damage.
No one I know, or anyone ever, as far as I know, has ever referred to Maleficent Visions as blueberry pie.
It's a blueberry pie to the face. And then you have your recipe book, you add a couple special ingredients, and then bam! Really packs a punch. But here's the replay as to how all this action started. Celebrity took a huge amount of damage. Revolta got the Shenald a little bit late, in all honesty. They knew the play was coming, and they should have set up for it sooner, but we don't have time for that because we've got another fight.
Oh, Joshua getting aggressive. Chain CC not going to come through. Ro, 2 stacks, looking for more. More stacks coming in. Ro locked up. Not going to get anything else. No.
Your magic shall not
Looks like we are going to have a bit of a brief pause here.
You good? You good?
I'm laughing because I think I just saw someone run away from the player thing, and I think it may be a player needing a bathroom.
My
That's
shield
my theory
for
on pause.
Okay, so, recap. Let's compose ourselves. We've obviously had a lot of action. We are about 12 minutes into the game. Gold advantage is heavily in favor of INTZ, largely due to the big fight that happened down at the bottom.
But of course it starts soon. We look back.
Oh yeah. Wrong with Red Buff. Definitely did not help, but also getting the early push out for the bottom lane of the INTZ. Also, just really setting up for that early gank with the Elise, getting the kill down onto the Caitlyn. It just really set up the bottom lane for success for INTZ, and really forget what happened up in the top half.
Yeah, cocky early aggressive dives, and this is the thing, this is the risk. I love the way that Saigon plays. It's so aggressive, but it's very free.
This is the style of play that you love, Sifa. This just
I love it
diving
a
a
little.
Shen this early on.
I love it a little less after 50 minutes of it earlier today. But I still love aggressive play. I love these aggressive risk taking. I think it's an interesting way to see the team play the game. I just they need to. They're not solo playing the Shen.
Job's done.
Wait,
What is the value of the Shen?
Gold, 400 gold, first blood gold,
And nothing else.
and nothing else. But I mean, it could have been the play that decided the game. I mean, getting Poppy out of that early on would have been fantastic for the team. I mean, this is definitely their first time we've seen a Poppy in the Shen match for quite a while. But early on, it definitely felt like the Poppy had the edge in terms of the trading back and forth. You could see that Shen was being forced underneath the turret. But really just so many unfortunate incidents for the side of Saigon, something that we've seen throughout this tournament where they're in the right frame of mind, but their execution just doesn't seem to be quite good.
Well, as we get back to the game, we're going to have to see if his execution is going to change at all moving forward. Sue and Celebrity now on the top side. Pressure from the Shen continues to grow 1-0 and 5 the score for Yang. Of course, 85 coming back up and out now with Talkers having that massive
Welcome to
advantage.
the Grand Tournament, champion.
Back and forth here as well. Good double stun, but Revolta and Jockster are here to pressure out, knowing they have the advantage. Talker moving up. Samyan
Here we
standing right
go.
on a ward.
Now, this is the smart play to make if you're INTZ, because you've already taken the tier 1 in the bottom lane. Your AD carry and support are the best for taking down these turrets early, so you rotate them to the top half. Tempered Fate comes out.
Revolta potentially going to Saigon Jokers.
So Revolta being a little bit out of position, waiting for his duo lane to shove the minion wave, underneath the turret. But Saigon, they caught him before that minion wave got there. Ended up punishing Revolta. And that's going to be another dead spider. We'll get Saigon Jokers another kill on the board. Unfortunate that Sue's the one to
Here
pick up that
we
kill.
go.
Talkers eventually in trouble here. Moving forward. They don't have any CC, but Talkers is running out of options. Warzone moving up. Gonna have to use the ult in the end. Shen now on the way in. Minions ticking down. Warzone in trouble. He's getting cut through. The arrow goes wide, but the minions are still hungry. He's going to drop to Talkers in the end. Jockster following through on the Braum, but he's going to get smacked right into the wall. Rowe looking his best to disengage. Winds up the hammer. Poppycopter goes boom. Out goes the rest of the team. Talkers dropping low. Team finally going to back off here.
So INTZ picked themselves up another kill after Saigon just tried to get themselves something on the board. INTZ have the numbers advantage. They're looking to siege onto this tier 1 in the mid.
Trying to find the opportunity. Rowe taking a lot of poke. So much pressure into this mid lane, but Talkers is incredibly low. It looks like they will have to back off. INTZ extend their gold lead though. 4.5k, 30 minutes in.
And Talkers, he picks himself up another kill. 4-0 on 1 right now.
Darkness.
Definitely doing a great job. Going to be working towards what looks like a Rylai's as his second item after picking up that needlessly large rod. But I mean, the setup itself from Saigon was promising, because what they did was they tried to catch Talkers as he was rotating around to the top half of the map. And unfortunately, this is where you have that lack of hard crowd control to punish the fact that the Malzahar has only really his Ghost and Flash to get away. If they overcommitted a little bit, they didn't respect the possibility of Shen coming in, and then Talkers realizing that once he baited Saigon enough, he turned around and challenged Warzone to a scaring contest. Warzone lost, ended up getting a blueberry pie to the face, and then he ended up falling to Talkers' small companions. So INTZ still holding and further extending their gold lead.
Definitely cementing their lead even further as Saigon Jokers really have to figure out what their next move is. Leaving again once again on the top side. They've gotten 1 kill there before. Maybe looking to make a repeat performance. Warzone getting destroyed in these trades.
I think he's allergic to blueberries. He is certainly struggling. I mean, for the side of INTZ, but Saigon looking to repeat.
Jockster gonna flash out. Now INTZ pushing in, looking to get another turret here on the bottom side, but the Spiderling's only taking up a little bit. Moving in for a bit more.
So they will end up trading turrets across the map, but INTZ will get a tier 2, while Saigon only get themselves a tier 1, and have a look at what INTZ are doing on the mini-map. They're grouping up in the mid lane. They want to set up a play.
Warzone, that allergy is going to cost him so much. Ult coming in, does flash out to safety.
INTZ with the numbers advantage can easily set themselves up for another turret. 16 minutes into the game, 3 turrets already down, and one of them is a tier 2. If they wanted to, they could just quickly rotate round to the dragon. They have full vision control over Saigon's bottom jungle, but Yang, he just needs to be mindful of the fact that he can't fully see where the members of Saigon are. But nevertheless, INTZ, easy Cloud Drake, should be little contention coming out from Saigon.
Spiders and Voidlings, and a very dead Cloud Drake.
Another
With a short
night
life
on the
lived,
prowl.
Cloud Drake. 16 minutes into the game, he's a long life by Dragon standards.
That is a partner party in the Dragon Pit. As Saigon now trying to respond by pushing down the mid, tier 1. Fortunately for INTZ, Mikau had already gone back to base.
Fight.
Hasn't quite yet completed any major item, but Talkers still being here should be enough to deter Saigon from committing.
Decent amount of poke here, trying to clear out the wave. Ult onto the Graves to stop the aggression, but Talkers is in trouble and he's set to fall. Shut down. Saigon do not wait an instant there to get aggressive, but the rest of the team is here. Rowe maybe waiting on this, trying to burn him down. Rowe trying to take it into the fight. Rowe caught out and cut down. INTZ, are they going to take control? Warzone is so low. Graves is So healthy, it's the support and the top laner versus the world. Yang is trying to 1v3 on Shen. Is he going to be able to get it? Does he have enough time? Yes, trying to keep it together. The
Is just so tanky. 3-0-9 now on this Shen. He was just soaking up so much of the damage, dealing with at least 3 members of Saigon, and they really had no answer to deal with it. And in all honesty, that was just such a massive misplay for Stalkers. Using his ultimate into 5 members, he thought that he would be fine. He was way too overconfident. He has not completed the Rylai's. He didn't have his Summoner spells available. And even through the Shen ult, Saigon were very easily able to
potential burst damage
back, but we don't have time for that.
Never going to have time for those replays. The fights continue. Revolta walking away with that blue buff. Saigon contesting every objective on the map.
Gotta be honest, would have preferred the replay over the blue buff. But now
don't know.
Picture it in your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Really good Bard ult, but we might get to see another one right now.
Oh, Stu looking to lock down Macau. He's potentially in trouble. Poppy ready to set it up. Macau does high, cuts him down. The minions on the way in. They're hungry for Bard. Aren't going to find it.
Looks like right now INTZ will come out ahead of another fight. 2 kills for 1 in their favor. Warzone was not involved in that setup whatsoever, but he is now here trying to defend this turret, and INTZ will not be able to claim that final tier 1. Notice that Yang sitting on base waiting for a potential opportunity, sees that nothing will come of it. Now both teams will sign a gentleman's agreement and walk away. But just have a look at the goal difference between the 2 top laners right now.
That's gross. That is the power of a 4-0-10 Shen. Yang putting on a clinic.
He's been involved in
Here we go.
14 out of 15.
Second item being completed now. There is the Rylai's. And it's just INTZ having a massive lead right now as they set up another play in the mid.
Warzone may be able to make it out. He's going to have to flash too if he wants to make it to safety. No.
Still tries to flash, but cannot escape the blueberry buy.
Once it's on you, it's on you.
It is.
No getting out.
And what makes it worse is if you just add a touch of magic, it'll slow your opponents down. Fills you so much that you just feel really gluttonous, you know? It's like you're wobbling away rather than running.
0-4-4. Warzone's feeling pretty gluttonous this game. Definitely had a few too many shares of the pie as Macau pushes in on the top side of the map. And it's honestly just such a rough road for Saigon. Continuously looking for the fights, continuously looking to be aggressive. But it doesn't get easy. It only gets harder if you continue to lose fights. And unfortunately, INTZ now with an AK gold lead. They can't even kill Macau. Jocks are there to block it up. The fight's going to continue. Down is going to go to Grave. Volta moves in. Celebrity throwing out auto after auto. With the Runaan's not enough damage to keep it going. Spirit's Refuge buys a bit of time. And Talkers on the side there throwing down a little bit more damage.
Thing is now for INTZ, they have such a massive goal lead that they can just group up anywhere on the map and force any play that they want because they're pretty confident that they're going to be able to win the vast majority of these fights. They're now pushing onto this tier 2 and Saigon have no answer. Ash Cannon, because he comes in so late to the fight that INTZ have already set himself up to just clean things out. Saigon Jokers, they lose another turret, they lose 4 members, and now it is a 10,000 gold lead in favor of INTZ.
A dominating performance coming in here. Every single member with an all-star KDA building themselves a montage. Saigon Jokers, while the aggressive plays are coming in, while they are able to find kills here and there, I think it's just too late.
INTZ almost have more kills than minutes in this game.
And we can't even say that it's INTZ playing super aggressive. It is solely Saigon Jokers running in to the meat
It's
grinder.
Saigon being like, they're going to battle till the very end. It doesn't matter if they're 0-5. They will fight you because they're confident. They're a believer, you know? And I like that. They do have a lot of damage with their composition. Bear that in mind. Poppy can definitely pack quite the punch. Bard definitely also hurts, especially running that Ignite. And then the Graves going for the Warriors enchantment. But look at Sue.
Oh, potentially in trouble.
Oh, man. You know? It seems like Celebrity wants to be known, but I don't think you want to draw that much attention to yourself. There's a lot of damage coming out from the Malzahar and the Ashe right now. INTZ, with all the damage they're able to get down onto their opponents, are now setting up for the Baron, and with a Malzahar, you should be able to take it very quickly.
Backing off. Have to get it. Can they steal this out? Lower and in lower. They're going to have to be careful. Warzone moves in. Row is moving in. Can they steal the Baron? Not going to get it. Revolta locks it down, but Macau gets taken out. Saigon Jokers, can they win this fight? INTZ are so low. Revolta is so low. They're cutting through. Saigon really want to win the fight. INTZ are running. INTZ are getting taken down. They've overstayed their welcome. Ready to move over the wall. Isn't going to follow up. Good play coming in from Saigon, but still a 10K gold lead for INTZ.
So INTZ getting a little bit too big for their breeches right there. They felt like that with the gold lead, they could just easily take a Baron and reverse sweep a fight, but unfortunately for them, they did not respect the fact that Warzone could get a multi-man ultimate off. The Baron reduces your magic resistance, and it really made it so easy for Saigon to just sit on the outside of the fight and clean up the rest of INTZ. And note that Row, he had little to no contention as he dived onto Macau, cleaned up the AD carry of INTZ, and honestly, with him gone, it made it so easy for Saigon to clean up the rest of the fight. So, honestly, very well played fight. Saigon will get a little bit of gold on the board, but there are still 2 members of INTZ with that Baron, which will definitely make things worse moving forward.
Yang is going to kill someone.
Where shall I
replay. Never mind. Never mind. Out of the replay.
Time waits
Fighting
for
on the
no
top
one.
side as Yang looks to take down Warzone. He's in a good spot to do it. Warzone, I don't think has the cooldown to keep this fight going. Able to get the cool out. Will he be able to get the blood? No. Cow of the wall. He's going to get the kill in the end. But while he's over to the rim, Warzone, not Warzone, that is Celebrity has been farmed. Coming up to the fight. It's never going to stop. Hawkins potentially in trouble. Arrow comes over, hits the Graves, looking for the disengage on Poppy.
The shadows beckon.
That's alright. One more hit will secure it for INTZ.
Signed
Saigon
in
not quite able to find themselves a fight, but good disengage arrow coming out. Also gone. INTZ feel confident enough to keep pushing, and look at how much damage Celebrity has taken under the turret.
Oh, this double stun comes in. That's a lot of burst. Going up, making sure the Shen is going to get delivered here.
Here we
Items.
go.
Out with his life.
That was close. That was very, very, very close. Fortunately, though, for Saigon, they are not going to lose their AD carry, and they're not really going to lose much more. A bit of damage onto that tier 3 in the mid, but other than that, they will get away. Gold lead maintaining at about 10,000. But now for INTZ, they need to try and take advantage of this Baron, which is starting to run out. Should be able to find out relatively soon how much time they have. But I don't think there is very much. Well, they have about a minute and a half left, which means that they can put Talkers with 4 members of INTZ, send Yang to the other side lane, and then you pretty much have 2 powerful pushing lanes. Make sure that you already have the bottom lane, which is pushing in your favor, and then you can really start to set up a really good 1-4 split push, which honestly, Saigon should really have no answer for. Their wave clear is okay. They have a trap line to delay.
Time waits for no one.
But with the Baron buff, with the gold advantage, honestly, it wouldn't be very difficult for INTZ to just set themselves up at that.
INTZ, it's 27 minutes in and they have a thing. They are in a great spot. Jungle, but Saigon Jokers to cast them.
Your eyes on the Ash. Actually sitting
I
in
can
the
see.
This is not a great setup for INTZ. They're really wasting this Baron. As we talked about earlier, in terms of traps, they still have a relatively decent late game.
Further in the game. Trap line that
For INTZ is really a misplay that is making their lives difficult right now, because they're not aligning the waves. They're not pushing at the same time. They're just rotating around, and then Saigon can just match them. Meanwhile, Row is holding his own in the top lane, 3-level disadvantage, but it doesn't matter because he's just there for wave clear duties. They did not take advantage of it, and now it's pretty much just going to be them honestly just farming, because they have no easy way to save.
good spot for Saigon to be. Tempering their aggression as well, or not. They may look to get aggressive here, knocking Yang into the wall, maybe looking for a bit of a fight, but INTZ are just going to move in and take this tower in response. Bardal comes out. Look out, just going to sidestep. Fight keeps going. Warzone moving forward. That's a lot of damage too. Looking for the stun. Blocked out by the Bard. Or the Braum, rather. Moving in. Waiting to turn it. Yang is absolutely unkillable, and INTZ make it a 4-for-1 trade.
The worst thing Saigon could have done is tried to
Here
force a
we
fight.
go.
They thought that they'd put Yang out of position, but even if you had, why would you want to engage onto this 5-0-18 Shen? INTZ, they have a minion wave, they have the gold lead, they may look to try and close out this game.
Steadily closing down those towers. Will they overextend? It's Celebrity and Steve, only members left. So he's going to take one out and immediately back off. Every time.
Mount up!
Here we
Every
go.
time, Saigon, I admire your consistency, but sometimes you need to just take your foot off the pedal, you know? They're a little bit bloodthirsty. Unfortunately for them, it will cost them an inhibitor. And note now, Baron going to be spawning in about 1 minute's time.
None may
INTZ, they
steal
have
our
constantly pushing the top half of the map. Send your Shen to the bottom. Get mid lane's priority. Get a bit of deep vision around the top half of Saigon.
This document looks
rotate
legal.
around to Baron. You have the Mals, you have the Baron, the Beast. Very easy pickup, and then you should be able to, with the Baron, close out this game.
Yeah, should be slow or steady, systematic close coming in from INTZ, although Saigon Jokers, if they look for one more fight, actually will be
Don't
their
worry,
own
loves. The
undoing.
cavalry's here.
Yes, the sad state of affairs. They need to wait, they need to pull back. This is massive. That's almost
Get in there
insurmountable.
and fight!
So here we are. Look, you can see INTZ pushing up the mid lane. They've already got a bit of vision down. They want to extend this vision a little bit more, just so that they can see. Here we are. You've also got the entrances warded up from INTZ. Now the moment the Baron Storm doesn't just rush it down. Bottom, he has his ultimate. He has the team.
The maker
Signed in
Also
blood.
flanking in with the some of these waves.
No, Ro moving forward. Revolta potentially caught out. Shen ulti coming in to save him. Saigon Joker's getting aggressive. Macau is locked up. A brief window here, but Yang is unkillable. He's on the front line. He already has a Thorn Mail. Warzone into the back line. Talker's slowly burning down. Ace in the hole coming out. Saigon Joker's moving forward, but they're losing the fight, and they continue to advance anyway. Absolutely fearless in the face of defeat. Sue looking for the stun. Celebrity trying to get out some damage, but not a single member of INTZ has fallen just yet. Celebrity hoping to get a kill. Is he going to get Jockster? No. But he will drop in the end. That is a 5-for-0 exchange, a triple kill coming in for INTZ, and I am stunned as Saigon Jokers look for a final fight, but it'll win INTZ the game.
You called it, but the worst thing that Saigon could have done is try to force a fight. They do it anyway, they stick to their bad habits, and this will result in INTZ closing out the game and securing a top 4 spot.
Now go the dreams of the Chiefs fans and the supporters of Saigon Jokers, but a good win coming in from INTZ. Calm, collected, systematic, and above all, bloody.
Oh yeah, 31 kills to 11.
I've cast more kills today than I have in my entire casting career.
Well, and we still got another day tomorrow.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Assuming they need a rest, but INTZ, they can rest up now knowing that they have secured themselves a top 4 spot. What they're now playing for is actually no, I believe that they are
Into the
no,
breach!
one more game. I'm gonna have to find one more game tomorrow. So they will be playing
Get
the seed
down!
moving forward, which is still very important. Look at the performance the Lions have had. Nobody really wants to be sitting in that 4th seed spot.
Looking, of course, forward.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Absolutely matters as INTZ find this win
This guy's toast.
overall.
The Brotherhood
So there we are. They are ending 5-2. You can see on your screen some of the premier moments of this game. I mean, there's not a lot to say.
Tonight,
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of team fights.
I mean, you have to praise Saigon though, sticking to their guns.
Reporting
constantly
for duty.
Fights and never an opportunity. Definitely did not work out. Was not an effective strategy, but it was extremely entertaining. And I mean, the story for Saigon throughout this tournament is
This document looks legally
honestly, early
binding.
on they looked very close in multiple games that they just lost out on.
This guy's
and if they'd
toast.
just been a little bit more reserved in their play, they could have been a top contender. But honestly, like, they've always had the right mentality. They've always had the right idea. But then when it comes to execution, this is one of those fights where they were able to get themselves a slight advantage, but the gold gap was already so big that honestly, it was just way too difficult for them to claw any way back in.
And maybe if they had gotten
Who am
Baron as
I?
well, it would've
None of your business.
taken their foot off the pedal once or twice.
Reporting for
But
duty.
Maybe if they hadn't eaten so many blueberry pies early on.
maybe if you stop saying that. Who knows?
The
We'll be a different
shadows
place,
beckon.
Betty. Yes, of course, we have to see. You can see now why this team is so dominant in their region,
I
though. 'Cause you can
fight.
imagine how this aggressive play style works when they do get a lead,
Oh yeah.
when they are able to find advantages, because that would be absolutely overwhelming. But INTZ, they play around it well. Which works out quite well. The Braum coming in was a crucial pick to shut this down.
Play that we talk about for the side of INTZ.
Lapdogs, all of you.
0-8.
This document looks legally
Final
binding.
few team fights, but honestly, he was just a consistent performer throughout, getting some fantastic taunts down, acting as a reliable front line, winning out what could have been a
Hey,
horrible
lights
team
out.
fight. Swinging it in their favor, just consistently performing, honestly, throughout this tournament, and has been a staple leader, and honestly, big reason as to their success.
Aside from Revolta, I would argue the game.
Nah,
Not a fan of Revolta.
no, I honestly feel like he's a little
Reporting
bit
for
inconsistent,
duty.
over-aggressive, he's not fully aware of his positioning on the map, he gets caught out a little bit too often.
Okay, all right. We can agree on Yang.
We can agree on it.
We can agree on Yang. Yang, I mean, showing a small performance on that Gnar as well as a final performance here on this Shen.
I
Beautiful
fight.
way to end the regular stage. The group stage. They have to fill the spot. Which spot we will have to find out.
Hey, lights out.
Darkness.
Here we go.
Victory is yours.
Still with 5-2. Albus will play Lion tomorrow. But we performers. Macau was given MVP of that game. Still a very solid performance because of the setup they had in the bottom lane. Going for the early level 2, getting that early.
Saigon Jokers have brought to this tournament that they simply were not prepared, and that's okay. Maybe they'll get another shot in the future. They were dominant in their region. I expect that they may continue to be able to be dominant in their region. But
Yep. Honestly, they just... I think that they were very slow to adapt to the meta early on. Their pick and ban phase was something that we critiqued very
I
heavily.
greet
And then once they
you.
did start to
The
pick...
pleasure is mine.
aware of what they should be doing. It was very much about this execution thing that we've been consistently talking about throughout the tournament, where they have the right idea. Hey, we should contest that. Hey, we should contest this objection. But unfortunately, they just...
Buying or selling.
at the end of the day, when we look across the team for INTZ as well, it's been a good run for them. We were very critical of them at the start when they dropped their first few losses because Brazil is a region that we always have the highest expectations for. However, they've shown up 5 now the question becomes, can they maintain performance? I don't
This
think
guy's
that
toast.
The pleasure is mine.
INTZ performance is
That's the interesting thing. We'll have to see how they do moving forward.
Well
We'll be in the semi-finals. It will be a
played.
best of 5, which is a completely different environment.
Buying or
You
selling.
have to bring out all kinds of unique and different strategies, and you're just going to have to be able to play on the fly because of how flexible you need to be. But moving forward, INTZ now sitting at 5-2. Underneath them is Dark Passage and Albus Nox. Both of them play tomorrow, and I believe Dark Passage are going up against Saigon Jokers, which, based on their performance, we could argue that they are likely going to win. And you know that Albus Nox are going up against Lion. Now, that one will be a very interesting matchup because if Albus Nox loses, that will
lights
actually
out.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
has the head-to-head record, which will guarantee them obviously that 4th place spot. But that will result in Albus Nox being in 4th seed, and Dark Passage and INTZ being the 2-3 seeds.
Get in there and
Looking at
fight,
the schedule, I mean, it's a little bit surprising because a lot of us thought that Albus Nox would be that 2nd place team, would be
Suffer my
the team
wrath!
sitting at the top.
This document lights out.
a consistent surprise. Now, I want to talk a little bit about that matchup coming in tomorrow because I think Lion Albus Nox safely is our most hype matchup moving forward. Of course, the timing and implications of every match is crucial tomorrow, but looking at that matchup, I'm just going to wonder, who do you think is going to come out on top?
I feel that Lion is Lion
The
so far
shadows
are on
beckon.
ever since qualifying. They were on a 14-0 coming into the international qualifier. They have now maintained that being 6-0. There was a lot of doubt because a lot of Latin American North teams have not been performing on the international stage.
And specifically Lion Gaming was
Yes.
that team that was not performing when we saw them at IWCI. They only
Exactly.
found a single win, so this change is huge.
It's incredible. I mean, a lot of that we have to give to Odi's the jungle, picking up
My
Say
shield
mid lane,
for
and
Argus.
these recent changes which have just resulted in huge performance increases for the team. And I've thoroughly enjoyed watching them play.
Darkness.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they also do in a best-of-5 scenario, because obviously it is a different ball game. You don't get that potential of, oh, we had a good game, we had a good start. Teams will be able to adapt, teams will be able to react. But it's exciting to see the promise from this team, and honestly, I'm quite excited to see how they could do on a World stage.
I think very interesting. I think they have to still mess with it. I have to wonder how they're meant to mind when a team has been winning this much. What happens? How do they react to a loss? How do you think that they're going to come into that?
Here we go.
We know from job done. They've been able to qualify before. They've been able to put on some impressive performances in the past. You know, under a different name, of course, is Hard Random. So they have the experience necessary here.
Put this apple
I feel
on your
regardless
head.
of if Lion can get an early game in front of me, I think
Dare summon me.
see an entirely different stage.
Entirely in. I'm really looking forward. I wonder if we're going to see the brand come out again tomorrow.
This
as well.
document
But I do
looks
think
legally
that the
binding.
mid lane matchup in particular is quite important because both Seiya and Sakura have received a huge amount of praise. And I think that depending on who gets the winning matchup could actually be a big swinging factor into how they do. But then something that we've seen a lot from both these teams is that mid-jungle and
Get it out!
enabling them to
Get it
work.
And I think it's excellent that you pointed out. Mid-lane matchup, Seiya, team versus Kira, you know, the 1v1 shot I think. Well, I mean,
You are my
Here we go.
where the attention is going to go. This is where the fan focus is going to go. And there's a lot of pressure on these guys to come out on top. I mean, look at the picks coming in.
Extraordinary.
I mean, Vladimir, Malzahar, we've seen these picks both be defining. Talia, we see a lot of bands moving forward. Casio, these guys have very interesting. There's a lot of
My shield
damage
for
potential.
Argus.
Quite excited to see the potential of Cassie here as well, because I think that she has been a rising popularity throughout honestly, the mid lane meta is so exciting, given that we have such talented